welcome back to the Cracking FAANG YouTube channel. Today we're going to be solving Leetcode problem 333, largest binary search tree, subtree. Given the root of a binary tree, find the largest subtree, which is also a binary search tree, where the largest means the subtree has the largest number of nodes. A binary search tree BST in a tree is one which all the nodes follow the below mentioned properties. The left subtree values are less than the value of their parent root's node value. The right subtree's values are greater than the value of their parent node's value. And a subtree must include all of its descendants. We can't pick and choose ones, right? So let's look at this example tree here and try to basically figure out what's going to happen. And this can kind of lend us some intuition as to kind of what the biggest tree we have is. So let's start at the bottom nodes, this 1, this 8, and this 7. Are these nodes binary search trees? Yes, a single node can actually be a binary search tree because technically it doesn't have any left and right children, so these values are true. So each one of these is essentially a binary search tree, right? So that means that the largest search tree we've seen is 1 because we could pick any of these nodes and it would be the largest subtree. Okay, but now let's try to go one level up. So we know that 1 and 8 are binary search trees, but what happens if we try to link it with 5, right? Well, we know that the left is a binary search tree, the right is a binary search tree, and we know that 5 is greater than all of the values on the left, which is this property here, and we see that 8 is greater than 5, and where 5 is less than all of the values on the right side. So this part is true. So that means that we can form a new binary search tree with these values here. So that means that our biggest tree is now 3. Let's try to do the same thing with this tree here, right? Is this a valid binary search tree? Well, we don't have anything to the left here, so our left condition is met, that's fine. But is our right condition met? No, because all of the values in the right tree are not actually greater than the root value here. Therefore, this is not a valid binary search tree. So, up to here, it's not a valid binary search tree. So this 10 cannot be a binary search tree because its left and its right children must be binary search trees. And since, this side is not a binary search tree, even though this side is, the largest one we can make is this 3. So that's essentially what we want to do. It's quite a simple process. We essentially are going to do a bottom-up depth-first search, and we're just going to try to build the biggest tree that we can. And one thing that we have to make sure of is we need to make sure of this property here. The left subtree values are less than the value of their parent root, so all the values in the left subtree must be less than this root value here, and then all the right values must be greater than this value. If we have that, and our left and right subtrees are actually binary search trees, then we can form a bigger one and we can kind of increment our count and try to go up as high as possible in the tree to basically sort this out. So that's easy to say, but how do we actually put this into code? What I want to do now is I want to actually go into the code editor, and we're actually going to walk through this and go through all of the possible branches that can happen, because there are a bunch of cases, right? The left tree might be a binary search tree, but the right isn't, or the opposite, where the right is, but the left isn't, or they're both binary search trees, but then the new root isn't actually following the binary search tree properties. So there's actually a lot of cases we can go through, and we're gonna have to enumerate them all to basically make sure we get the answer. But don't worry, we have the general solution intuition of doing our bottom-up depth-first search. And now that we know that, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the code editor and type this up. I promise it's really not that complicated. So I will see you in the code editor momentarily. In the code editor, let's type this up. The first thing that we want to do is actually check whether or not we were given an empty root. Obviously, if there's no root, there's no tree for us that we can build. Therefore, we must return 0. So let's handle that edge case off the bat. So we're going to say if not root, we're just going to return 0. Okay, easy peasy. Now let's set up a variable to actually track the largest tree that we've seen so far, because remember, we're going to be calculating it on the fly as we go through the tree and basically putting together all the tree values we can. So we're going to do it kind of as we process the tree. So we're going to say self.largest value is going to equal 1, because at this point we know that we have a tree. because obviously the root is non-null, so we'll have at least a BST of size 1, because we could just pick any node and that would be the actual binary search tree. So what we're going to do here is we're now going to call our DFS function on the root, and we'll write the DFS function in a second. So we're going to call it on the root, self.dfs, and once we've done that, the DFS function will do our processing and it will basically update our largest value, and we just need to return that. Okay, so that part's the easy part. Let's actually define DFS here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take in a node and we now need to process it. So obviously, if we have an empty node, we want to basically handle that case. We don't want to mess up our calculations here. So we're going to say if not node, what we're going to return from our function here is going to be a tuple. So we're going to return false, because obviously a node that is null is not a binary search tree. So we want to indicate that it's not a binary search tree, and we basically want to indicate that its size is 0. And we want to also indicate the minimum value we've seen and the maximum value we've seen. And if you're wondering where I got these values, if you read the the problem statement here, basically those are just the maximum and minimum values, just one higher than all of them. So that's just how I pick them. You could set it to negative infinity or positive infinity if you want, but given that the max value is negative 1,000 or 10,000 and then positive 10,000, we can just add 1 and subtract 1 to each one. Anyway, that's enough rambling. So what we want to do is, remember, we were going to return is the node a binary search tree, which is false. We want to return its size, which is 0, because obviously it's not a tree, and then the minimum and the maximum value. And you're going to see what we're going to do with these in a second. Now what we want to do is we want to determine if our node is actually a leaf node, because we can actually return when we have a leaf node. So we're going to say if not node.left and not node.right. So that's how we know that we have a leaf node, is when obviously the node is defined but it doesn't have any children. That is a leaf. So when we have a leaf, remember that leafs can be a binary search tree because they just stand on their own. So we're going to return true. Obviously the size is 1 because it's just one node. And then the minimum value we've seen is obviously just the node value, and the maximum value we've seen is also the node value, because that's the only value in the tree. Now what we want to do is we actually want to figure out whether the left subtree and the right subtree are going to be binary search trees. So let's get those values by calling our DFS function on the left and the right. And remember that we expect a tuple, and the values that we're going to get out of calling DFS on the left subtree is going to be whether the left is a BST, because remember that's what the true or false represents. We're going to get the size of the left tree, so we'll call this left size. And we're going to say the L-min, which is the smallest value in the left subtree. And we're also going to get the left max, which is the largest value in the left subtree. And this is going to be equal to self.dfs on node.left. Now we're going to have to do the same thing on the right subtree. So we're going to say, is the right a binary search tree? What is the right size? What is the right min? And what is the right max? And this is going to be self.dfs on the node.right. Okay, cool. Now that we have those values, we can actually start going through our cases. Now remember that in order for us to take the current node that we're processing and use it to form a binary search tree, a few things need to be true. First of all, both the left and the right tree need to be binary search trees, and we need to make sure that our values are not invalidated. So basically, our current node's value needs to be greater than all of basically the largest value in the left subtree, and it also needs to be smaller than the smallest value in the right subtree. So let's go through all the cases and enumerate them, and we can see how we might want to do this. So we're going to say now, if the left is a binary search tree and the right is a binary search tree, then we have the potential to form another one. But we need to make sure that the left maximum is also less than the node.val. So our current root is actually greater than the maximum of our left subtree, and it's also less than the minimum of our right subtree. If all three of these conditions are met, then we actually have a new binary search tree that can be formed. So we're going to say that the current size is going to be 1 plus whatever the size of the left subtree and whatever the size of the right subtree is, because we're obviously joining those together. Plus 1 indicates the root node that we're currently at, behaving as the root. So that's going to be the current size. Now what we want to do is update our largest value if this is actually a better solution. So we're going to take the max of whatever the current largest value is and our current size, and we will update that value if it happens to be a maximum. If not, we're simply going to continue. So now that we know that we've formed a binary search tree, we can return true. The size is going to be current size. And now what we want to do for the actual, again, the smallest value in our tree should be the left minimum. And the largest value in our tree should be the right maximum. So we're going to pass that to the next level. Okay, cool. Now, there's also a few other cases in which we can form a valid binary search tree, and that is if the left node is a binary search tree, but the right child node of our current node is actually an empty node or a null node, then that's fine as well. It doesn't have to be the case that you have both a left and a right child that are binary search trees. You can simply have a null node. So what we can do is we're going to say else if left is a binary search tree and not node.right. So if the right node of our current node is non-existent, then that's fine. And we just have to make sure that this time the left maximum is actually less than the node.val, right? Because remember, the left tree still, all the values need to be smaller than the root's value. So in this case, we don't have to check against the right min because obviously the right tree is not defined. So in this case, we've now found a new binary search tree. So again, the current size is just going to be 1 plus the left size, because remember, the right size doesn't exist because the node is null. So we can again say self.largest value is going to be the maximum of whatever the self.largest value is and our new current size. And since we were able to form a valid binary search tree, we can again return true. We can return the current size. We can return the, in this case, the new minimum. So the left minimum is going to stay the same. And now the maximum value in our tree is obviously going to be our new node val, because the root value, which is node.val, because we didn't have any values on the right side. So obviously our root now becomes the largest value. So we now have the opposite of this case, where right is a binary search tree and the left node doesn't exist. And we could have the case where, the node.val is actually less than all of the values on the right tree. So let's do that. So we're going to say R is BST and not node.left, and node.val is actually less than R min. So if all of this is true, then we know that we can form a binary search tree on the right. So again, we're going to say the current size is going to be 1 plus the right size. We're going to say self.largest value is going to be the maximum of self.largest value, and we are going to pass in the cur size. So that's going to be your new largest value. And remember, we were able to form a valid binary search tree, so now we can return true. Again, the cur size. This time, this time, since we took the right tree, and remember the right values have to be greater in all cases than the node value. That means that our new minimum value in the tree is going to be node.val, and right max is still going to be the max of the right tree. Cool. So that is your last case where we can actually form a valid binary search tree and move on to the next level. In all other cases, we simply want to return false because we cannot form a valid binary search tree. And again, we're going to just pass in the default values here as placeholders. So that is essentially what we want to do. Let's see, why is this giving me problems? I think it's fine. Let me just, where's my editor? What the hell? Okay, we seem to have slightly lost our submission. Oh, it's right here. Why is it over there? That's so weird. Okay, that's strange. Okay, and it was accepted despite the weird situation. Okay, let's go back to the actual editor here. This new Leetcode UI is really tripping me up. Okay, what is the time and space complexity of our algorithm here? So our time complexity, because we're doing a bottom-up depth first search, we're only going to touch each node at a maximum one time. And since we need to basically process all of the nodes in the tree in the worst case, in the case that the actual whole tree is a binary search tree, our time complexity is going to be big O of n. For the space complexity, you'll notice that we don't actually create any variables here. So it could be big O of 1, but you'll notice that we're using recursion here. So if counting stack frames from recursion, then the space complexity becomes big O of n, because obviously we need to account for the fact that we're doing a DFS. So recursive functions have stack frames that we need to take account for. So that is your time complexity, big O of n, space complexity, big O of n as well. Big O of 1 if your interviewer doesn't want to count the stack frames, but usually it's best to just mention that it's big O of n because of the stack frames, and that's the best, safest way to answer that. So that is how you solve largest binary search tree subtree. Relatively straightforward. I think we've done a few questions on this channel where we're kind of validating a binary search tree in this way, where we're kind of building it from the children upwards. So really nothing new here on the pattern. We've definitely seen this before on the channel. It's just kind of how you actually do the validation, but this one's relatively simple. I think the other questions we solved were hard. So anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling because that's the end of the video. So if you enjoyed this, please leave a like and a comment. It really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.